Now let's continue to talk with the Gary Russen Program. Okay, we're back. The Gary Russen Program on GJRB Online. We're wrapping up this year-end review, part 1, as we're going to do the second half as a podcast. I'll be recording that on Tuesday, and we'll have it up for you over the weekend, next weekend, here on GJRB. So it'll be a podcast only, so you'll hear the end of this, and we're going to go all the way up to a preview, and it'll be a preview of our pastor who made some predictions for 2015, and I'll play you a piece of that here along the way as well. Try to get that in before we close up here. But this is our last hurrah, so we're gonna kind of pick some tracks that well remember. We're going to start with last July 15th in the news. Extreme weather. We had a lot of it last year. For the polar vortex, which really did a number on us, to a summertime freak snowstorm in Russia. And in Oklahoma, this is going on right now though even. It was quiet there for a while, but then Oklahoma just got another series of earthquakes again. And even in Texas, Dallas area is getting earthquakes. And they're saying, though, the one down in Texas is a result of fracking oil. But here it is, back in July 15th, this past summer, on the Gary Russen Program, when we looked at it in our newscast, the story about Russia and the Russian snowstorm in the summertime. Midsummer snowstorm and Oklahoma earthquakes. And extreme weather tops our news this first hour as heavy rains and thunderstorms in the South Rural Mountains gave way to, believe it or not, a blizzard, which hit Zulalist on July 12th. According to one witness, snowflakes fell like winter snow. Region received 1 to 3 inches of snow before that snow melted away. Chilpanzig Weather Service predicted wet and windy weather with moderate heavy rain throughout the week, with soft hail and ice hail in the mountain regions. Meanwhile, things are shaking up in Oklahoma as a earthquake hit the past couple of days. A series of 7 earthquakes rocked Oklahoma, and now Oklahoma is passing California in earthquakes. This became big news on Sunday.
Having an earthquake right now. It's shaking quite a bit here.
And that means that there has been earthquakes now. They're saying that when a series of quakes hitting 4.3 here near Langston. According to a News 9 Oklahoma City, there were no reports of injuries or property damage on Saturday, but additional earthquake hit Sunday. Then an additional earthquake hit Sunday in Langston, which just hit just about the lunch hour.
But these 3 were all before noon today. That's right. Turns out that's nothing. We've had probably 100 earthquakes in total today already.
Most of those are hardly felt, but they are getting stronger.
It's truly remarkable. We've never seen anything like this. This is completely unprecedented.
5 years ago, Oklahoma averaged just 2 magnitude 3.0 or higher earthquakes a year. Last year, there were 109, a 5,000% increase. And just so far this year, more than 200.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about getting into this house. This is like, wow, cool. I'm in here.
Marla Wright has just moved into her new home in the small town of Prague 2.5 years after she lost her old one.
And you heard this huge boom before the shaking started.
It was November 5th, 2011.
I mean, you were being tossed through, to and fro, and back and forth, and
It was that violent.
it was horribly violent.
The quake measured 5.7, the largest in modern Oklahoma history.
Like a lot of people, Marla worries that the source of the earthquake that devastated her home is actually located not that far outside of town. What about here?
An underground injection well where wastewater from the state's booming oil and natural gas production is pumped back into the earth. Oklahoma has roughly 10,000 of them. Some scientists suggest the wells are destabilizing the state's underlying network of faults. But any suggestion drilling and earthquakes are related makes for some difficult conversation here.
Does it ever worry you at night that maybe in some way that industry is doing this kind of harm? Has it ever crossed your mind?
It concerns me that it's possible.
1 out of every 6 Oklahomans gets a paycheck thanks to the oil and gas business. It also produces 27% of the state's annual tax revenue.
We're not ignoring it. We're working hard on it, and we need to understand the science better.
Scientists have linked the Prague earthquake to nearby injection wells, but they stop short of saying injection wells are responsible for all of the state's earthquakes. The problem, they say, may be part man-made and part nature.
We're probably looking at a contribution of different factors working together to really create what can only be described as kind of the perfect storm.
So, seismologists and the energy industry have teamed up to try and find a solution that stops the quakes, but not the drilling.
Do you worry about another one?
Yes, every day.
Which explains Oklahoma's newest business boom, earthquake insurance.
Most of the people we talk to, even those who've been directly impacted by the earthquake, say that they're not out to put the oil and gas business out of business. They do hope that that industry can get a better understanding of what's going on to try to stop the earthquake.
It's about time. Here it is. My view on sports will finally be revealed as I open up the sports page. I'll talk about football as the playoffs and the Super Bowl are coming up. Also covering hockey, baseball, spring training coming up in February, basketball with March Madness. It's going to be a page full of action, winning or losing. Gary J's Sports Page starts Tuesday, January 20th at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB. Swing Time is back this spring on GJRB. This time the spotlight shines on Harry James. A child of circus performers, he started showbiz early with a desire for music at the age of 6. His trumpet sounds were the most popular of the early 40s. Harry James' story on Swing Time. Watch for it as a podcast uploaded Saturday, March 21st on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Swing Time on GJRB. Attention, emerging bands and artists. Up and Coming is back, and on more often. I'm talking about the main show, featuring all juniors. Send me your band's recordings or let me know where you're at, whether you're on SoundCloud, SoundClick, or Reverb Nation. And I will play them on Up and Coming. Listen for details on how your band can get on Up and Coming for Up and Coming podcast on GJRB's public site or live. Watch for announcements closer to the approaching air date. Up and Coming, uploaded as a podcast or live. Saturday, March 28th on GJRB. All right. Gary Russen Program, GJRB Online, and we're doing a recap of the year of 2014. Last January, we did a thing here on the Gary Russen Program, and it started out to be pretty good because I was going to do make a stand for America. You know what I mean? Make a stand for America. And the other one I was going to do about the kids getting bullied for their faith. I'm going to put that on another show. As a matter of fact, our next week when we do our podcast, I'll pick up from there, and we'll continue with our Gary Russen Program year-end review for our weekend podcast, the best of the Gary Russen Program, right here on GGRB Online. But anyway, I wanted to make a stand, and that stand kind of failed there for a while. I don't know why, just for some apparent reason. We're going to play part of it. I make a stand for America, to pray for America, that we could kind of get rid of all this, dictatorship by this president. So here it is from last year, Gary Russen Program, last January 15th, Gary Russen Program, as we make a stand for America in our freedoms.
Candy cane, a simple, stupid little candy cane story. It's not stupid. It's about Jesus Christ and the nativity, the fact that the reason for the season of Christmas was Jesus Christ, who came to this world and died. This is where I'm leading to, folks. This is where I'm leading to. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this time now basically to talk about that. And that the reason I want to talk about it is that I want to make a stand. I'm starting a campaign here on the Gary Russen Program. I'll be making even some promos later on. I'm going to be sitting and writing some promos about this. It's a campaign that I'm starting here on the Gary Russen Program. The campaign to save the United States of America. We need to band together and save the United States of America. We need to band together against these leftist, liberal communists led by the one and only your lovable President Obama. Okay? These people who are wanting the New World Order and pretty soon one world religion. Okay? We want to push this off for a little while. Let our youngsters have a little life. We're going to push this off a little while. We need to band together now and stand up for the American Constitution. The American Constitution. We need to stand up for the Bill of Rights. We need to stand up for the Constitution of America. We need to wake up Obama's eye. We need to. Because see, here's my theory on this, folks. I'm one of those conspiracy theorists. I've always had been. And one of the conspiracies, I believe, is that your lovely President Obama isn't really an American citizen. I believe that Barack Obama, your President of the United States, is from Kenya. And he really doesn't have the citizenship papers. I believe that he's hiding his birth certificate. And the reason he's hiding his birth certificate is because he is not a U.S. citizen, which is one of the requirements for being the President of the United States. You have to be a United States citizen. And President Obama is not a United States citizen. He's there in the White House. He got in the White House due to your lovely mainstream liberal left-wing media. Okay? Your left-wing liberal media is what elected the president in the first place. Right? So, as a result of this, you have a president of the United States who does not care about the Constitution. He doesn't care whether or not the United States of America was founded by our forefathers. He doesn't care that the United States of America is a Judeo-Christian, was founded on Judeo-Christian beliefs. And that we, as the United States citizens, America, we're Christians first. Okay? And this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. The United States, your president, your lovely Obama, the one that we all just love to pieces, is really not of this country. That's how I see it. What do you think? Text me. Tell me what you think. All you people on the chat rooms right now, You can reply to this. I'm going to read your responses and on the air, and you tell me what you think.
Wasn't going to play the whole thing because that's from January 15th, and it was a 10-minute piece. And it just states what I said before, and like I said before, the reason why this whole thing failed, I started this stand for America